They own luxury hotels across 3 continents. They control energy pipelines worth billions. Their family name appears in no major magazine, and yet they quietly shape the flow of money, oil, and even political influence around the world. And here's the strange part. Most people have never even heard of them. The story begins far from the glitz of Wall Street. In a quiet Texas town during the 1930s, the middle of the Great Depression, one man saw opportunity where others saw ruin. His name? George Hunt Hillman. Not a Wall Street banker, not a Hollywood producer, just a quiet oil engineer with a mind for numbers and an obsession with control. While banks were failing, George was buying up small oil fields that no one else wanted. Old rigs, broken wells, abandoned lands. People called him crazy. But George had a secret formula. He understood that oil wasn't just a fuel. It was power. Whoever controlled the energy controlled the economy. By the 1950s, his small company, Hillman Energy, had grown into a regional powerhouse. But here's where things get interesting. Unlike other oil tycoons, the Gettys, the Hunts, or the Koches, George refused interviews. No photographs, no speeches. He built quietly, secretly, strategically. His philosophy was simple. The media barely whispers their name. But behind closed doors, this dynasty has built an empire that rivals the Rockefellers, without ever stepping into the spotlight. Who are they? Why do they stay hidden? And how did they become so powerful without the world ever noticing? In this video, you'll discover the secret origins of this reclusive billionaire family, how they built an invisible empire from scratch, and the shocking reason major media avoids mentioning them at all. Because what you're about to learn will make you question who really runs the world's wealth. Let me show you exactly how this happened.
Fast forward to today, and the Hillman family's fortune is estimated, according to private financial reports, at over $42 billion. Yet, search for them on Google, and you'll find almost nothing. Their name rarely appears in Forbes. Their company websites list shell subsidiaries and faceless boards. But sources suggest the Hillmans own stakes in energy, real estate, defense tech, and private equity, stretching from Texas to London, Dubai, and even Singapore. Now here's where things get really interesting. In recent years, quiet leaks and corporate documents have hinted that the Hillman family may control more than 200 companies through layers of trusts and offshore entities. And yet, no journalist has ever sat down with a Hillman. Not one. Why? Because the Hillmans don't need publicity. They own the assets that make publicity possible: energy, distribution, and digital infrastructure. Now here's where things start to get shocking. Let's pull back the curtain. While most billionaires compete for headlines, the Elon Musks, the Bezoses, the Hillmans chose a different game: control from the shadows. Take Hillman Energy Partners, for example. On paper, it's just a mid-size energy investment firm in Houston. But dig deeper, and you find it owns controlling stakes in 6 regional oil pipeline networks across the American South. Those pipelines feed into major supply chains that power everything from airlines to data centers. In simple terms, every time a jet takes off or your laptop charges, a small part of that transaction flows into Hillman accounts. According to leaked corporate filings, Hillman entities also hold indirect stakes in 2 of America's largest fuel logistics companies, though the family name is never attached. But that's just the beginning.
Reportedly, in 2004, a Hillman-controlled trust quietly purchased dozens of properties in Manhattan and Los Angeles under different names, properties now worth billions. They also invested early in renewable energy startups, a move that insiders say doubled their family fortune after 2015. But here's the wow moment. When most families were selling oil stocks, the Hillmans were quietly transitioning into green tech. They funded solar infrastructure in Arizona, wind farms in Denmark, and even a battery company that supplies parts to major EV manufacturers. While the public saw a dying oil dynasty, the Hillmans reinvented themselves as the invisible backbone of the green energy boom. Think about that. A family whose fortune began in dirty oil now profits from the clean future. It's a financial magic trick, hiding in plain sight. And if you're wondering how this connects to your life, it's simple. Every time you fill up your car, charge your phone, or pay your utility bill, You might be funding a family you've never heard of. But if you think that's crazy, wait until you hear this. What makes the Hillmans truly unique isn't just their wealth. It's how they move it. Unlike most billionaires, they don't rely on Wall Street banks or hedge funds. They created their own financial system, one designed for secrecy and control. Here's how it reportedly works. Hillman Holdings LLC, based in Delaware, acts as the parent. But beneath it lies a labyrinth of shell companies, from Bluegate Properties in London to Nordic Energy Systems in Copenhagen, each owning small slices of larger entities. This network allows the Hillmans to operate globally without anyone tracing their true influence. It's legal, but brilliant. An investigative source described it like this. But the story gets even deeper. In the late 1990s, the Hillmans reportedly began investing in private defense technology, cybersecurity firms, drone systems, satellite software. Their aim? To secure their assets against both hackers and governments. By 2010, they had quietly become one of the largest private investors in global data encryption. That means the same systems protecting military communications also guard Hillman transactions. Plot twist. Some experts believe that's why major media outlets avoid covering them, because even reporters can't access their data trails. In a digital age where everything leaves a trace, the Hillmans built a digital fortress. And then, something unexpected happened. During the pandemic, while markets crashed and industries struggled, the Hillman network reportedly expanded its holdings in healthcare logistics and pharmaceutical storage. It didn't make vaccines. They built the infrastructure that moved them. Think about that. While the world panicked, they built profit pipelines that touched every vial, every shipment, every hospital truck. Now, their empire isn't just energy or real estate. It's logistics, defense, data, and technology. They've essentially become a private shadow version of the U.S. economy itself. And this brings us to the most shocking discovery of all. The Hillmans' real genius? They don't just own companies. They own the systems that keep companies alive. Reportedly, through a private trust registered in the Cayman Islands, the Hillman family holds silent partnerships in 4 of the world's largest private equity firms. That means, indirectly, they may have stakes in thousands of companies without anyone knowing. It's a shadow portfolio stretching across oil, tech, medicine, logistics, and even entertainment. Remember those Netflix originals? Or that luxury brand ad you saw last week? Chances are some of that production funding came from a Hillman-linked entity. And the irony? While other billionaires compete for followers and fame, the Hillmans live quietly on a 40,000-acre ranch in Texas. No paparazzi, no public donations, just quiet control. They don't need to be seen because influence doesn't require attention. Now, here's where the puzzle locks in. Through decades of patient strategy, the Hillman family created a system that connects oil, energy, technology, and finance, 4 pillars of modern civilization. That means in some way, they profit whether the market goes up or down. Oil rises, their energy arm wins. Green tech grows, their renewables win. Defense budgets expand, their data companies profit. Markets crash, their private equity firms buy assets cheap. They build a machine that thrives in every scenario. And here's the twist. According to insiders, the Hillman Trust is designed to last forever. Unlike other fortunes that split across heirs, their wealth structure regenerates automatically, a self-reinforcing loop of profit. It's not just a family fortune. It's a financial organism. So what does all this mean for us today? It means power has changed hands quietly. The world used to be ruled by visible empires, governments, monarchs, corporations. Now, hidden dynasties like the Hillmans pull strings from behind the scenes. And here's the fascinating part. They're not breaking laws. They're just playing a game most people don't even know exists. For the average American, this story is both terrifying and inspiring. Terrifying because it shows how wealth can move unseen. Inspiring because it proves one thing. Real power doesn't come from being loud, it comes from being strategic. When you hear about old money, you imagine castles or inheritance. But the Hillmans built new old money, wealth that hides, evolves, and outlives its creators. Their model is now studied in private wealth circles, a blend of stealth, patience, and adaptability. And whether we like it or not, it's becoming the blueprint for the next generation of billionaires. Here's the takeaway. You don't need to be famous to be powerful. You just need to understand systems and move before everyone else sees the shift. As America's economy shifts from oil to data and from labor to automation, the Hillman way of thinking could define the next 100 years of wealth. But before we wrap up, there's one final thing you need to know. In 2022, a rare document surfaced online, a leaked letter reportedly written by the current Hillman family head, Eleanor Hillman. In it, she wrote,
"Power that's seen is power that's threatened. Power that's hidden lasts. They built a financial ghost network. You can see the money move, but not who's moving it. Wealth isn't money. It's foresight. Money follows those who see first." Those 8 words explain everything. The Hillmans don't chase trends. They create them quietly, then let others take the spotlight. While the world obsesses over billionaires on social media, this family quietly shapes the infrastructure behind them all. The next time you hear about the richest people list, remember, the true richest might never appear on it. Because the real dynasties don't advertise their power, they protect it. And maybe, just maybe, that's why the media refuses to talk about them. If this opened your eyes, you're about to see how deep the rabbit hole really goes. So let's recap. The Hillmans, a Texas-born dynasty that built power through oil, transformed it through tech, and now guard it through secrecy. They own the pipes that move our fuel, the data that guards our systems, and the properties that define modern luxury, all without a single headline. Their story isn't just about money. It's about the new definition of power, invisible, interconnected, and unstoppable. And maybe that's the real lesson for all of us. In a world obsessed with attention, true wealth hides in silence. If this story fascinated you, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We dive deep into the world's hidden billionaires, untold empires, and unseen power structures every week. And here's a question for you. Backhand index pointing right, do you think billionaires should have the right to stay completely hidden? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We'll feature the most interesting one in our next video. And if you want to go even deeper, watch our next episode. The ancient family in Europe that still owns everything. It connects directly to the system you just learned about. Until next time, stay curious, stay sharp, and remember, the world you see is only half the story.